And it's her journey. It's her faith journey. It starts with her slogan, and she says, I have lived by the slogan, why me? And hell is other people. In the year 1975, the year I felt and lived the saying, riches to rags. Normally, it is rags to riches. But with my family, there was no other way to turn to but go to the lowest of the lowest. However, my parents' faith in God pulled us through. Things will turn around. Their faith was tested to the hilt. Everything else was going rock bottom for my father. No way to earn money. All the good ways to earn came to a nil. Every turn was a temptation to do wrong. But amazingly, my parents' faith became stronger and stronger. As I observed my parents' faith increased, mine was decreasing and reaching rock bottom. The famous "why me" statement became my slogan. After almost 10 years of blaming the world for our situation, I found myself sitting down at Santo Domingo Church, chanting, why me or why us, for about an hour. That same day, when I got home, my U.S. student visa was approved and can leave for the States anytime. I just looked at the sky and uttered for the first time in 10 years, thank you, God. 1986, I left for the States. No relatives will house me because I'm not a green card holder. Luckily, my friend Carol housed me. I looked for jobs for 2 months. My money was down to $50 for the rest of my stay in the U.S. Many times I asked myself, will I just walk home or eat something? I just walked to save a few cents. This is about 5 miles from the Oakland BART station to Alameda. Where will I get the money? My family back home had given me all their savings for my studies and stay here in the States. I do not have a credit card to help me, no family and relatives to turn to. I must have looked for 100 jobs in 2 months and sent resume to different companies, but no calls. My slogan came back, why me? Then, as I was walking the streets of Fillmore, of San Francisco, I was driven to a crowd going to a church. I asked, who was there? Because the person that people were crowded was so tiny and small. I sat down, and for some reason, as I was peeping in between waistlines of so many people, I saw a pair of eyes looking at me, and lucky enough, she went through the crowd and reached and anointed me. That's how she demonstrated it to me. It was Mother Teresa. I felt a certain peace and went home. When I got home, I had 2 job offers to start the next day. Again, this is my second church event before I reached rock bottom of hopelessness. 1996. From rents to a director of a regional center, I raised the bar of obtaining grants to serve people with disabilities. This time I had all the ingredients, the power, the salary, and the education to direct all the lives of our service providers and their families. Many of providers cried discrimination for not getting what they want. I was called more names than I can remember. I was so enthused in proving to the world that I deserved the director position, that I was working 24/7, enslaving myself to the job. I forgot I had my parents and my family. My mother died with my sister, my father, and nephew beside her. But I could not forgive myself for not spending enough time and serving her. During the wake of our mother, I found myself praying at the Holy Child Church in Delano, looking around and praying to God to let me make it up to my family. The first utterance of the statement, "Thy will be done," help me make it, and I will entrust everything to you. It was one of the hardest decisions to give up. Power and money, but I just needed to entrust that I could live without power and money. This is the first time I entrusted everything to him, and my first time after several years to step in the church again. I was given a chance to forgive myself when my father got sick in 2005 and 2006. I opted to leave the director position and got the lowest position in licensing, from a director to a clerk position. But the difference in this life is I had my family during the last days of my father. No amount of power and money can equal to that. I believe I got empowered in a different way, a certain peace with a simplified life, without cell phones, 24-hour on calls, leaving the house in the middle of the night. And as I furthered through the healing process of the demise of our mother, dealing with my anger and my sadness, my fears slowly began to recede. Little did I know that over time, the experience and closeness I feared the most in the beginning would soon turn into the gift that would help guide me through my journey and inspire me most. I have evolved from a slogan of "Why me?" to "Thy will be done." I thought I was all alone in my journey, but now I know he has always been with me since. Could you flash the next slide? Florence is a consultant currently for, that should be providers. For providers who wants to develop homes for persons with special needs. And he's a certified state vendor to teach administrators for adult residential care facilities and teach documentation requirements for Title 22 and 17, which are the regulations on how to serve the developmentally disabled population.